Okay, still on what? On balancing. Balancing is not only done by the Christie. Balancing is also done by what? By the utriculus as well as the circulus. In the utriculus and the circulus, I said there are the receptors which are called what? The maculae. Singular, it's a what? It's a macula. These maculae, they play a role in registering what? The position of what? Of the head. Mean that they help one to maintain balance if a person maybe is moving his or her head downwards. Balance is going to be downward to be maintained. Again, if I want to move my head backward a little bit, balance will also be downward, be maintained by what? By the macula. And again, as we are sitting here, as we are still sitting, balance is being maintained by what? By the macula. So now let us see how these maculae play a role in doing what? In registering what? The position of what? Of the head. Okay, let me say that you try to look downwards when you nod. This is what is going to happen. Okay, the inside the utriculus and the circulus, okay, there is still a fluid which is called what? An endolymph. So now when you look downwards, what is going to happen is that, okay, the otoliths are going to do what? To act downwards, meaning that we do say that these otoliths, they respond to the force of what? Of gravity. So now mean that they will do what? They will go downwards. When they go downwards, they are going to exert pressure on what? On the sensory hair cells. So now when the sensory hair cells experience pressure, they are going to be what? To be stimulated. When stimulated, they will convert what? A stimulus into what? Into an impulse. So now the impulse will then be taken by what? By the vestibular nerve that joins together with the cochlear nerve to form the auditory nerve that will take the impulses to the cerebellum so that balance can be done, what? Can be maintained. We are done with regard to the ear, how the ear plays a role in maintaining balance, as well as how the ear plays a role in hearing. So now what we need to talk about, we need to talk about how hearing can be done, what? Can be impaired. So now there are things that can cause hearing to be done, what? To be impaired. So now the first thing that can cause hearing to be impaired could be the accumulation of a wax which is called cerumen. So now cerumen is a wax which is found where? Which is found in the auditory canal. This wax plays an important role because it prevents what? It prevents your ear, or we can say the auditory canal, from doing what? From drying out. Apart from that, the wax which is found where? Which is found in the auditory canal plays a role in expelling the foreign substances such as the insects that may try to do what? To enter the ear. But however, if there is too much wax and then it becomes hard inside the auditory canal, that wax can impair hearing, mean that it can cause a person not to hear properly. So normally what is done if there is this accumulation of wax inside the auditory canal? A person or a patient, okay, will go to the doctor, and then what the doctor can do, the doctor will pour warm water into what? Into the auditory canal. So now the warm water will cause the wax to melt, and then hearing will be restored again, mean that a person will be able to hear normally again or in a normal way. So now another problem that we can experience with what? With our ears that can impair hearing. It's if maybe there is an infection inside what? Inside the middle ear. What can cause the infection in the middle ear? Could be if maybe a person has a flu. We know very well that if a person has a flu, that flu is there as a result of what? Of the germs, or let me say the viruses to be what? To be correct. The flu virus or the virus might move from where? From the pharynx through the eustachian tube into where? Into the middle ear, and then the middle ear can be what? Can be infected. We know very well that if the middle ear is infected, this middle ear might do what? Might swell. Again, if the middle ear doesn't swell, what can happen here is that the middle ear might be filled with what? With the fluid that comes from where? From the infection. So now once this middle ear is swollen, maybe it is now of the size, that simply means the pressure here is not the same as the pressure where? On the outside. So now that will make it difficult for the eardrum to do what? To vibrate. So now if the eardrum doesn't vibrate, it means a person won't be able to do what? To hear properly. So normally, to restore hearing, the doctor will put what? A small plastic here that has what? A hole. So now this small plastic that looks like a button is called what? A chromate. So now the function of this chromate will be to do what? To bypass what? The eustachian tube. So now it will also cause the fluid to be drained from where? From the middle ear, so that the pressure of air is the same both on the outer ear as well as here in the middle ear. Once the pressure is the same, the eardrum will be in a position of doing what? Of vibrating. So now a person will be in a position of doing what? Of hearing well. Sometimes we do poke our ears with what? With the earbuds. Those earbuds, they can also damage what? The tympanic what? Membrane, making a scar to develop where? On the tympanic what? Membrane. That scar is going to do what? To interfere with the movement of what? Of the sound waves. So now the scar will cause hearing again to be what? To be impaired. But that does not necessarily mean that a person will be what? Will be deaf. No, the person will still hear, but the only problem is that the person won't hear properly. So now, there what must happen is that the eardrum must be allowed to do what? To heal. So now once the eardrum is healed, and then hearing again will be done what? Will be restored. So now, but it won't be 100% restored because now there is a what? There is a scar. So now, normally, to enable a person to hear properly, if a person has a problem either in the middle ear or a problem in the outer ear, okay, the doctor can put the hearing aids. So now the function of the hearing aids will be to do what? To amplify the vibrations, so that they arrive there in the inner ear, still being what? Still being strong. But sometimes a person can have a problem inside what? Inside the cochlea there. So now the cochlea of a person can be what? Can be damaged by what? By high pitch pitch sound. The high pitch sound can cause the hair cells of the organ of Corti to waste away. So now once the hair cells of the organ of Corti have wasted away or have worn out, that simply means a person won't be able to do what? To hear, because there won't be a structure that will be able to do what? To convert a sound stimulus into what? Into an impulse. So if the organ of Corti is damaged, a person will be completely deaf. So now, in order to help this person not to be completely deaf or his hearing to be completely impaired, so now a doctor can put what we called a cochlea, that is called the cochlear implant. So now mean that the cochlea will be inserted. So now the function of the cochlea will be to do what? It will be to stimulate the auditory what? The auditory nerve, so that the impulses can go to where? To the cerebrum for hearing to take place. So now another thing that I didn't make mention of is that, okay, sometimes the three ossicles may do what? May collapse. So now what can cause the three ossicles to collapse? It is still what? It is still the sound. The high pitch sound can cause the three ossicles to do what? To collapse. There again, hearing will still be what? Be impaired. But the problem can be corrected by giving a person what? The hearing aids.